They say the owl's daughter was a farmer. Ow! I'm sorry, that was too loud, wasn't it? Wait a minute, the owl's farmer was a daughter? I don't think that's right. It was the farmer's daughter was an owl. Or the owl was you know what? I never understood that Ophelia chick. She was wacky, I'll tell you. Grandpa died last week. Now we've buried in the rocks. Everybody still talks about how badly they are shocked. But me, I expected it to happen. I knew we lost control. We built a fire on Main Street. Then shot it. Stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. So there was the whole story about everybody thinking that everybody's I'm shocked that Grandpa's died, you know. Well, anybody who would look at their, I mean, he was on his last leg, you know. So it was, I mean, not exactly the same with Ophelia, but kind of like this. I mean, I kind of realized that, I mean, there was something wrong with that chick. She was just very confused. I mean, going around talking about the owl's daughter being a farmer, or the farmer's daughter, I don't know, something like that. The peacock and the rooster, I don't know. The thing that I do know is that just a couple of weeks before she did that, she goes, okay, look, she tells me that she really needs to start taking some swimming lessons because she doesn't know how to swim. And there's this really fast moving deep stream on her father's property. So I says to her, why don't you go get some swimming lessons? You know, I've heard Prince Hamlet's a good swimmer. Why don't you maybe cozy up to him and get some free lessons maybe? I mean, he's a guy, and you're a very attractive young lady, said I. Called me Polonius, by the way. I mean, she's my daughter. I don't know why I'm calling her that chick, but well, she's only my daughter in a manner of speaking, Methinks he doth protest too much. Yes, that's what people say about me. I doth protest too much. But it's true what I say. Be neither a lender nor a borrower be. For the latter dulls the sense of husbandry, the practice of husbandry. That was the idea. You go around borrowing instead of saying, look, let me figure out how to marshal my own resources and do it on my own if I can. If I can't, it's okay to ask for help. Husbandry is saying, let me nurture the resources I have, especially the regenerative resources I have. And the latter, lending, is likely to lose both friend and principal. Which I learned myself firsthand. I lent a guy some money, and that's why he's no longer my friend. And that's not because he's a bad guy either. He's actually a very kind of a genius or semi-genius. He's really an amazing guy. He's just embarrassed because he realized he wasn't entirely straight with me about the circumstances of this so-called loan. He asked to borrow it, and then he made it into equity. So that's why when he couldn't pay me back, it was his equity. And I said, well, look, okay, if you lost it, you lost it. But, if you ever really make some money down the road, you'll pay me back, right? No. Neil. I've known you as long as I've known Was. W-U-Z. You know who Was is. Was a person who I thought of in the same way as, the other Steve in Apple. The other Steve, there was Steve Jobs, who was our age, right? You were the same age, you, Neil, and Was, and I, or really, within a year, we graduated high school the same year. We all were freshmen. That's the important thing. We were all freshmen at that big university in the Midwest together. So I wasn't completely, well, yeah, wait a minute. I have to say I was not only surprised, I would say maybe flabbergasted. 2 weeks after Ophelia tells me she really needs to take swimming lessons, because she's afraid of that deep and swift-running stream on her father's property. So, yes, I would have to say I was flabbergasted when I found out that she decided to go and learn to swim on her own without, I guess she was spurned. I mean, she went to Hamlet and he said, "Lay, lady, lay, lay across our pig-glass bed." And I know that Ophelia found that very strange. Indeed. She was expecting, well, it was along the line of, oh, were we speaking of country matters? Ha, ha, ha. I mean, put your head in, I would like to put my head in your lap. Oh, did you think I was talking about country matters? Oh, Hammy, he was quite a ham, I'll tell ya. Country, by the way, is spelled C-O-U-N-T-R-Y, in case you thought it was spelled the way it was meant, I guess. I'm not really, I'm not a Shakespearean expert, but it's certainly, I always wondered, what is country matters? And then I said, well, country matters. Country matters. And, of course, the word that the two C words, four-letter C words that are for their respective sexual, the specific sexual organ of the two genders, the four-letter words starting with C were the common, well, were the, which were the, well, it was the common people's words. And the F word was what the people used. They didn't, la-di-da, sexual intercourse, you know, la-di-da. Well, and it was very much an intentional thing that the nobility in England spoke French during the, you know, the Norman conquest was pretty significant, you know. It had its effect. People from France came over and said, we're in charge now, and over time they intermarried with the local the lords, well, the warlords, the ones that were able to raise the biggest army are the ones that get rewarded and get to come into the inner sanctum, and i.e. my daughter's inner sanctum. You, because you have half of the island of the British Isles up there, you will have that. I'll allow you or your son into my daughter's inner sanctum. And we forget that Shakespeare was meant to be understood by the common people.